ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, snipers, gankers, campers, from Erangel all the way to Vikendi, welcome to day 6 of the PMPL, the PUBG Mobile Professional League Malaysia and Singapore 2020. 96 players, 24 teams have gathered here today to fight for the title of King. We're coming to you live from IO Esports Arena, and we would like to thank Tencent Games, PUBG Corporation, Lightspeed, Quantum Studios for their support. And of course, all of this action is coming to you live from Facebook Gaming, our official live stream partner. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, PUBG Mobile Malaysia Official. $140,000 is up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen, and titles to be given away. From MVPs to MVP teams, we've got so much to consider. In terms of criteria, stats, showmanship, off-the-wall plays, all take into consideration. So if you may be in the middle of the stats, up top or way down below, if you make some crazy plays here today, you will see people struggle to get that MVP. As these teams have gathered here today, we will be taking a little bit of awesome fights, awesome highlights, awesome action, all of it in our live streams, in our social media tags. In any case, we would like to pass it over to the casters to break down the action here today. Casters, cast the roof off this place.
And it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at the IO Esports Stadium. And of course, joined by me alongside with, of course, one of the guys that you've all been missing out on is Contract here on the desk. I have Choo Choo as well as Sir Cloud right here to bring you all the commentaries throughout this whole Sunday round. I know it's been a long time coming, and of course, I need you guys to fill me in on what I've been missing out and all these action here at the PUBG Mobile Professional League Malaysia and Singapore.
Yeah, but before that, thanks to our sponsors, which is Tencent Games, PUBG Corporation, Lightspeed, and Quantum Studios. Without you guys, and any of this won't be happening. And before that, also thank you so much, our official media for Facebook Gaming, making this possible for everywhere there is. And there you go. We have Aaron today. We have also Sir Cloud. How are you guys?
Well, it's been to me because there's so much of all these action happening across the weekend now. Today we'll have Group A versus Group C in this whole matchup to conclude the entirety of Week 1.
Correct. Arguably the two biggest groups, or to a certain extent death groups, as some communities will talk about it. So this will be really exciting. Big names, big teams, lots of expectations definitely. So we're going to expect a good fight here.
And one more thing, if I'm not mistaken, today is the closure of Week 1. So we complete 1 week of this league just now. Will be today, sorry. So there's some things that, well, you know, when Week 1, you remember that what keeps them motivated on keep on going for every week. So maybe we have something spicy by the end of the day today.
Definitely will be something that's going to be really heating up by the entirety of the 6 rounds. But of course, for formality's sake, let's go through all the formats that we will have for the entirety of the tournament. So let's begin. If you guys have been missing out on some of these action, so 24 teams will be divided to 3 groups respectively. Group A, B, and C with 8 teams in total. So they'll be shifting across the week to battle it all out throughout the entirety of the league. We have 8 invited teams, top 12, of course, coming in from the qualifiers, and 4 more teams hailing from Singapore. So this is definitely something that's really unique, and it's for the first time ever, we're having this sort of structure going on for the entirety run of 3 weeks total.
Yeah, at the end of the week, the total points will be counted and winners of the week will be announced on Sunday, which is today. And by the end of the league, the final score will be counted to reveal who will be the top 16 teams that will go to PMPL 2020 MYSG Grand Finals. And each day we will have two groups, which is today, which is going to be A versus C, totaling 16 teams to play out 6 matches per day. A team will play a total of 24 matches each week, mind that 9 matches of Erangel, 9 rounds of Miramar, 3 rounds of Sanhok, and 3 rounds of Vikendi.
That's right, and of course our Sir Cloud, yesterday you were here, you were so hyped up during the moments where Last Survivor R2K won so many chicken dinners and they have been breaking records.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all for the underdogs here. But also let's look at the point system as well, just to remind everyone else at home. So for first place, Chicken Dinner will receive 20 points, second place will receive 14 points, third place 10 points, fourth place 8 points, fifth place 7 points, sixth place 6 points, seventh place 5 points, and 8th place 4 points.
Yeah.
And going down on the 9th place, 3 points down to 10th place will deduct another point. 11th place onward will deduct, there's no more deduction there, there's only 1 point left. Up to 16th place who got themselves at 1 point.
And of course we'll be going through some of the formats as well. We'll be starting off into, we will be playing inside of Sanhok, Erangel, Vikendi as well as Miramar, as the maps will rotate throughout the day. And of course, we'll start off with a little bit of a warm-up, as usual, inside of Erangel.
Oh, I wish there's no more fake chicken for ESG. I'm hoping for them to actually landed one. But everybody kind of serious yesterday. Some of them actually having fun, chilling, just to make sure that they are prepared for the Scrim game. Just to make sure that they're not too nervous to straight into the official one.
Correct. The warm-up game definitely is very good, but of course we are all here for the main game as well, which comes with a total prize pool of 150,000 USD. The total league prize pool is 99,000 USD, and the champion for PMPL MYSG 2020 will receive 15,000 USD on top of including as well weekly prize for best teams and best MVP.
So much more money on the line. And of course, they're looking to actually qualify towards that top 16 spot. But, you know, you have all the bragging rights if you can get the top spot. And, of course, who doesn't like getting that huge sum in your wallets?
Weekly. We're saying about weekly stuff here, so today is Sunday.
Oh, it's time for us to actually unveil who's going to be the one on the top of the charts. And of course, there's so many of these contenders out here, and some of the best highlights we've seen are from teams like Yoodo, GANK, Bapak Esports, Team Secret, and of course, even yesterday, Last Survivor R2K has wowed us and just blow the roofs top out of all these studios that we have. Well, not literally, because we are still safe under this roof.
I'm glad that we're still safe, but back to the battle Syndicate. I don't know if we already hit the 60 kills mark for each of the players, but this Syndicate is not that easy because it will represent on each of different map. There's also Syndicate of Erangel, Miramar, and next one will be Vikendi and Sanhok as well. Question is, do you think, I've heard the highest kill is almost around there somewhere, but still haven't killed that much as for the Signet. So maybe by the end of the tournament itself, somebody will get away 300 kills, maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at one point they'll be able to actually hit the mark. Just a little bit of context of, you know, previous tournaments. One of the key highlight players in the international runs was definitely players like Rise and players like Zuxi, who can't actually hit more than 250 kills. So who knows? In Malaysia, we're about to see one of all these miraculous wonder kids to actually take the cake.
Yep, and now looking at the teams in these both groups that we'll be playing today. In Group A, we do have Traitor Esports, BTRR of Team Secret, DivinityEsport, Tonewell Esports, Tara, Proyecto X, Miss Rose Esports, Syndicate, as well as Net Brotherhood. And
Group C, on the other hand, still have Geek Fam, EVOS, VIP, Yoodo Gang, Bosskurr, and there's also still Hearts, Last Survivor R2K, ESG, as well as XPERT MY. We've seen their games before for Group C yesterday. So today, adding on for Group A, back to the start like 3 days ago. You can see yourself, Cloud and Aaron, Contra yourself, that you've seen that when it comes to Group A versus B, and then B, C, and C to A back, things change quite tremendously between these teams when they have to fight each other.
That's right, and of course they've been contesting on all these drop points. They've been rushing in to get those cars. We've seen some road kills, we've seen some pan kills, we've seen shotguns. Everything was brought on the line, even pistols throughout the week. And who knows what kind of surprises are we expecting for today?
Yeah, even I would say own team kills as well. We saw yesterday a little bit unfortunate for some of those teams. But of course, what really excites me is underdog teams. R2K.
Oh, wait, not yet, not now, Cloud. It's the start of the day.
Oh, come on.
Okay, this is the cursed cast. In case Contra haven't joined him, I'm gonna follow him up here. This is the cursed cast where we do kind of predict which teams get out soon or not. And I know that sounds so mean, right? But
at
the same
that's
time,
rough.
we just do it at the last game because when we jinx it too early on, it's gonna be bad for the rest of the players, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, of course, it's still pretty much early to the week, and we've already seen Team Secret already looking for something on their seat. I'm not too sure what BB is looking for on the ground, but let's have a look into ESG as well. All the boys are looking pretty much good, and of course pretty fresh for the start of the day as well. And we talk about curses, right? And there's so much that can happen throughout the week. And mind you, it's still kind of like some of all these teams are still like on their sleep mode, and they haven't really awakened. And of course, there's so much expectation going on to not only Malaysian teams, Singaporean teams as well. But to my surprise and to many, I think Impunity Kage has been performing tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Impunity probably one of the Singaporean teams who have been performing better than the rest. But then again, of course, let's not also forget the other Singaporean teams. Today we do have Divinity that in fact they're just on our right side as well. So all the best for them. And these are the teams that Impunity is actually one of the teams that finding hard to get to the first page normally when we show the standings. So I do hope that they can do well today as well.
Oh, they have to. They need the at least the last push of momentum for first week here. We're gonna jump into second week very soon next week, which gonna be a total different level at that. But let's jump into Erangel, one of the best map there is. But this is a screen game, mind you. This is just a warm-up game. Don't be too hyped up for the players as well as the viewers expecting this to be the official one. This is just a screen game, making sure that everybody warming themselves up.
Well, I gotta get myself some warm up too. It's been quite a while since I've joined the caster's desk, and I'm really glad that I've been given this opportunity. So we'll be heading in towards Erangel here. Of course, this is how we actually get those guns blazing, and I can't wait to see who will be able to actually, show us something even more in the screen matches.
Yes, can't really wait. And of course, a couple of rituals that we've talked about in the past couple of days, that Mud Toy's hand is sacred. So that's what probably that Biu was like looking down. It's like, hey, where's Mud Toy's hand? Mud Toy, give me your hand. But I don't want to kiss it in front of the camera.
I don't think hands actually on the floor, but yeah, there you go. But thanks to our observers here, Observer Director XCYR, look at that number's gonna count up to 300 by next week. And GEK Top Cast as well as Zeiss. This guy gonna hit 3 digits, all 4 of them, as the tournament goes.
Yeah, and we can see that, of course, Topcast and Zai, they've been doing tremendously well. I've been having a chat with them, of course. If you guys do not know yet, Topcast as well as Zai do cast in Malay as well, but of course, they're taking all the camera works all throughout this Erangel matchup, as well as throughout the rest of the day. Let's have a look into some of the drop points, shall we? As we see BTR, one of the early birds to actually take this flight off as they head into Novo, coming in from the southeast all the way up to the northwest.
Yep, absolutely agree. My eyes are on Team Secret. Are they going to go for Pochinki again? Very likely they do. They've never given up Pochinki, even though it's a warm-up match. But what I'd like to see is that teams actually try to challenge Team Secret in
that's
Pochinki.
quite true. Because usually in screen games, right, Cloud, we've seen it so many times as well as Contra. I do notice you coming up from the side, but look at that. Straight away, they are openly engaging. ESG, again, when screen games, they are doing so well around Milta around this time. But when it comes to the real game, it's a total different one. Nice spray, just straight away knock one of the H2O, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, it was 21. No other than Team Bosskurr. Bossway, speaking of Bosskurr, right? They always happen to be among the first one to be out.
Well,
Seems like
Yeah,
few days.
I do think that they do have a lot of work to be done throughout week number 1. There are times that they do actually get those big wins, but when you're actually getting engaged on, when you are getting terrorized from other teams into your hometown, of course, they will be a little bit shocked. So now they do lose one, but I do believe that Palix and the rest could still keep up with something against ESG.
Yeah, they'll need to find some ways. I do agree with that. They haven't been performing so well. If I'm not mistaken, they have not come to the first page at all. So, the second page teams consistently. I do hope that they can find a real pattern or some chemistry, that something somewhere that can actually help them to do better in this game. But we do look that in the same compound, these two teams locked onto each other. And looks like Palex managed to drop Superlan. Superlan is now in trouble. They're all really spread out. And look at this, Brother versus Bravo. Brother from a distance, Bamburu taking him down, and that knock Bravo will definitely finish off with the punch.
Oh man, sucker punch to actually start off the day, and it's definitely not a fair fight, as there's going to be a 2-on-1 hit on the face. But now only down to Botak as well as Bamburu going pretty low, and now there's going to be that circle upon them. They can fight for ages, but most of the teams are already inside of the vicinity, covering most of this territory. Now, there's a little bit of prediction coming in from our observers. Thank you very much, as they highlight the regions of Milter as well as Farm to be perhaps the predicted circle ending.
I think this circle probably the one that actually the most populated area, and it have been going on for wars currently, because we talk about prediction, the top one, I don't think it's inside of a circle just yet. So maybe these are the circles that are meant to be most heavy populated, as well as so much engagement at the same time. Looking at there are a couple of teams gonna rotate a little bit too late here.
Oh my, seems like there's a little bit of action near towards the east side of the bridge as well. We see Traitor as well as NED Esports actually going on an engagement as well.
Yep, now switch over to Fredo. Looks like he's all alone in this compound. Well, okay, Fredo in particularly didn't really do too well. There were two extremes. Like, his team did really, really well for 2 games where they got the chicken dinner, but then followed by an early out. But just look at this. Bota, he's been Dota at the same time, as well as Hans. Oh wow, it's really a 50-50 fight here. Now the grenade goes out by Pamburu. Will it connect there? Grenade goes out, but looks like not connect enough yet. It does go up, but still okay there.
Oh my goodness me, Bravo's over on the bottom side of the floor, and they are trying to rush right in. Pamburu does have a nade that he can actually go in for the push. Oh my goodness me! Pamburu will knock out Palix, and leaving only a few more standing, and he is on fire! Pamburu rush right through, and he will be able to pick up a couple of loots before going to that full fight, but they need to actually find a little bit of that helping hand towards the side of their side, and they've already got all these members of Bosskurr wiped off.
And the first team to be out, but nonetheless it's still a Scrim game. I think they are kind of okay with that, not too disappointed for the time being. Whilst on the other hand, Team Secret is still unchallenged, sadly to say, kind of disappointed. I was hoping at least during Scrim game somebody will challenge them in Pachinki.
Oh, I think we definitely do want to see some of all that sort of a town fight happening in towards the central zone, but as for now, a lot of respect has been given towards Team Secret for very good reasons. And Yu-Hai. Let's talk about Yu-Hai for a little bit. The Wonder Kid, 16 years old, probably, of course, me joining the desk. I was wowed because I was playing a little bit of show match with him, and he's just so efficient in every single thing that he does. And his action per minute is just outstanding. He does like 5 things at one go.
Well, that's what youngsters have that we old people don't. That's why we ended up in the caster's desk. They have the fastest reaction there is, and their neuron development are still developing. That's why it's super fast there. But looking at Tara, we have Tara today. We talked about this a couple of days before, how very adaptive they are to the current strategy of the other teams and how fast they have been growing. And what are your thoughts about this, Cloud?
Yeah, I do agree as well that Tara is one of those teams who they didn't start off this league too well, but somehow, somewhere they kind of managed to get used to all the playstyles of other teams, and they've kind of found their footing, and now they're somewhere in the middle. They are doing okay-ish. I do think they stand a good chance to qualify to the next round as long as they keep that momentum going.
Oh yes, indeed, and they really gotta find that sort of a way to stay consistent in the game. And same goes to EVOS VIP squad. Like, of of course, they already have so much of a roster change, and I do think that they're still adjusting into its week 1. They're not performing really badly per se, but eventually they will be able to actually get themselves in towards a better standing eventually. Now, Circle, of course, still around this region. So if you guys have to make a prediction, where exactly will it end up?
I think at the Medusa intersection, high probability probably be there. But this is quite a centralized circle, so I think it's kind of really at the center of it. Pretty much like that, seems like it.
Well, I do think that there's some possibilities that it will go into its some open area terrain, such as Yasnaya Pollyanna's open field, where Tara is currently at. And there's so much of all that sort of crowd building up in towards that hill in between school as well as farm.
Yeah, it will probably also end at somewhere where Traitor is at as well. I guess a lot of teams do predict that. We do see that. Just look at this, Traitor is not moving at all, but everyone else is moving towards Traitor.
Imagine suddenly it just have to end at the bridge, right? It'd be so damn funny.
Oh, yeah.
Then someone definitely kiss on the ghost picture.
Oh, yeah.
Who would that be? I kind of want to know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would do the same too if he's actually right on this. But, well, we're looking back in towards Team Secret. They're currently taking a little bit of that high ground advantage where they can actually take some of these vantage point and hopefully pick off some of all these players, such as Baby Jim right here. Already got his vehicle smoked up. There will be the UAZ being burned down there as he got no options but to hide.
Oh, now, hi now. Looks like they'll be surrounded by Miss Rose Esports. They may just go in there, but then again, Tonewao Esports, they are in the compound. Jojo from the outside, and now all the grenades and utilities will go out here. Will they make a rush for it? They may not do that yet. They're just waiting for everything. Flush out as much as possible, throwing those damages on the grenade onto Tonewao Esports, pinning them on the inside, forcing them to use their utilities. But one team member, Tonewao Esports, seems to make the great escape, and now they're on a lockdown mode.
Just around the corner now, Rose Esports Syndicate trying to charge right in. The rest of the team quite segregated behind them. Wow, it seems like they're holding this warehouse quite well since they are actually inside of the building. How are they going to approach this for Rose Syndicate?
Oh, Rose Syndicate definitely will need to actually hold their fort, but they're getting attacked from across the corner. 7-Up is actually pressuring from the side, while the rest of them are lobbing nades from the inside of the warehouse. So, Miss Rose Syndicate thinks that it's better for them to run, but looks like BTR-MY will have themselves some trouble here against ESG.
Oh, ESG now, they want BTR now. Looks like Zully will not survive this. They will finish off Zully, not taking any hostages. And that pad kill. One more on the board. Kiden will be happy, but he's not watching this live with us right now, probably at home.
Yeah, I hope he's cheering. But then, mind you, that stat won't be in the overall stats because this is just a Scrim game. And no, I don't think he'll be that happy. But look at Pemburu. He's trying to find the one that is crouching behind it, actually. Covered by UAZ. There you go. Just going to punch it away.
Oh my, there's so many all these sucker points being thrown out and back towards the side of Tonewao, as we still see Baby Jim being pretty much well in line, but not for Jojo though. And I have jinxed him. He got shot right behind the tree.
Oh, now Miss Rose Esports looks like they're in trouble. If I believe so, they only have one more team member left. But looks like behind that, Fateh getting those shots on. Managed to knock down one. And now looks like it's only Fateh left. Baby Jim as well as Omar. They've been knocked down and they're now taken hostage. But they will finish them off. No hostages taken. And Miss Rose Esports has been sent back to the lobby.
Well, luckily, it's just a Scrim game, and hopefully they're not that upset and keep their morale still going up for the next official one. But on the other hand, Tonewao, they have been quite well when it comes to coping up in a close-range combat. Back to the map here, we're looking how the migration is going to happen for the next circle will be. Quite still in the center of it, just now already out of the map. It's already contra. It seems like your prediction a bit out this time. I'm still hoping it's going to be a bridge, but I don't think it will be since it's a little bit lopsided.
Well, of course, you've got yourself some sharp predictions right there, and looks like the rest of Team Secret will be holding on towards that really hot zone, and even there's a whole lot of flock of crowds coming in towards the corner of the wood shacks as well. But over on the top side of the bridge, we're already seeing some of all these teams actually cutting by, and I'm not too sure whether or not will they go in for a full commitment.
The thing is, there's so many teams actually centralizing at the middle of a circle. The ones that actually coming in rotate very, very late will have some problems to go against the gatekeepers. It's not going to be an easy task for them since everybody is already inside of a circle waiting the moment that they are actually going to be the victim for their next one who actually just gave it. Look at that spray just now. It's so beautiful. Well done.
Oh.
And who will be the next victim here as we speak?
Oh my, I do think that there's going to be a little bit of that situation. But as for us casters here, this seems to be a little bit of tech issues that, of course, still games is still going on for now. But we'll be jumping right into it for a little bit more. But of course, let's talk through Group A versus Group C. Is this actually harder than B versus C or A versus B?
I think it's hard either way.
Yeah, I think no one is spared in this league as we can see so far. Although the community does favor Group A and C just because of bigger names, but then again, doesn't mean that bigger names you will automatically be like, okay, you have a free pass, right? We have seen how Last Survivor R2K yesterday. No disrespect that they're not a bigger name, but what I mean is that as compared with teams like Yoodo Gang and the rest of them, they seem to be proven themselves that, hey, we're on par with you guys.
That's right, and even like you talk about big names, whether if they perform or not, like a lot of expectations were actually put on towards Resurgence, but look at where they are right now. They're not really in a great shape, and I do think that they really got to do something about it. And of course, a lot of all these shots being fired up in the air, and my oh my, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen out of this.
Yeah, it was an interesting fight here. So many shots has been fired and raining of bullets all over the place. Some of them trying to loop nades, but it seems like they're hesitating as well. So many smokes being popped too. And trying to advance more into the circle, it seems like not an easy task here. Most teams are having a difficult time just to be at the center of it. Trying to dominate this area is one problem, holding it is another.
Yeah, one problem holding is another. But good thing is that the circle was actually very, very kind. We could have expect a lot of, I would say, land towards the final few circles.
That's only land there, literally. It's not even like any water places there.
Yeah, that's why everyone really wanted to secure that middle spot, as where Traitor was. They managed to secure that middle spot first, so it's now them to defend against everyone else who wants to come in.
Yeah, and of course, Team Secret has been punching a lot of all these players rotating around, and I think that place that they've secured was really much perfect. But I do think that teams like XPERT MY, they still got a lot of catching up to do throughout the entirety of the week, and you know, there were some good games for them. There were also hiccups in between. I feel like the problem lies within their rotation on how they actually secure those compounds.
We've talked about this yesterday, about how the teams on the second page, especially the bottom 16, how can they adapt to the game, because it seems like they're having a hard time making sure that they can actually progress throughout the whole tournament. But it seems like the rest of the teams are doing a-okay. But the one that we talk about, for example, Rose Syndicate, who have XPERT MY, there's also Access Esport as well as Bosskurr, who just happen to be the one that have to be out way too soon when they just drop into the game.
Yeah, really unfortunate to them. But then again, this is a warm-up match, so they're probably just taking this lightly, and they say that, okay, it's sometimes maybe it's also like, okay, it's okay if we go out first, is because that we don't want to give away our information to other teams, and at the same time, they get to spectate the game.
Yeah, I think that's really important for them to
look at
analyze.
that circle. It just have it a little bit on the east side there. And just now, the circle just really deceiving and punishing all the players. They thought it would be in the center of it, but apparently we all were wrong.
Yeah, and of course, it's still pretty much all right for some of these teams to actually rotate in as well. Well, we already see Traitor has been booking the top side of the hill for quite some time, as we see a lot of all these teams will have to go through that southern side.
Yeah, a lot of teams need to go through a lot of other teams as well. Plus, a lot of teams have parked themselves at where Traitor was, which is actually not too far from the circle, just on the outskirts. But then again, that could also mean that gatekeeping could happen from there onwards.
We're back on track once again, and NED Esports has been taking up a little bit of that fight as we see some commotion happening across the map. Sorry for a little bit of a hiccup, but it looks to me Team Secret will be attacked by a couple of teams from the top side of the hill as ESG takes control.
Yep, and now Biu looks like he has his crosshair on the other side, but they get Pumburu as well, and they'll try to take those shots, but looks like Biu have been knocked down by Pumburu from a range. Good job there by Pumburu, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are down to 11 teams, 31 players, and now Pumburu will need to deal with Yoodo Gang next.
Yep, Traitor is just in front of ESG for the current moment. Look at that. Nobody's actually inside of Prison Circle except for Geek fam happened to be the one that arrived first here. Tara, on the other hand, just going to migrate super fast on their own vehicles. We have multiple teams coming up from each side of the map, which is north, south, as well as the west and east. On the other hand, Yoodo is trying so hard to clip on Divinity, which is already kind of sandwiched between so many teams in the middle. Look at that, Mamparang being knocked down, return back damage there. But then Divinity got straight away hit up with Karma, wiped out straight. No more to be seen.
Oh my, it seems to me that Yoodo Gank is getting themselves in towards a hot soup right behind the prison shelters, of course, and they need a little bit of helping hand, and I'm not too sure where exactly is Fredo when you need him, but he's diving his way in, he's driving that UAZ in towards the smoke, and he will be having enough time for a rescue as his captain will need him the most.
Oh, Fredo will need to make a run for it, and the revive comes in just at the right moment and at the right spot as well. And now switching over to Tara. Muffin has eyes. Oh, that long shot now reaches, but again, only very little connects. Tara will need better vision there if they want to take down Fredo and team. And now moving on to Bravo. Looks like he's the sole survivor for his team at this moment.
This is different levels. We're talking about one on level 1, another one on level 2 of the house or apartment here. Geek on the other hand trying to catch somebody's on the second floor. Kind of hard, but they're rushing in. Look at that, ESG just in common margin, and Dammer trying to pull the clutch, but managed to just prone in the last minute just now. It was a brilliant plays by ESG.
And that's Bravo going in for that 2 versus 1. Can he actually clutch this one out as he will take out one more member from the side of Geek fan, making it a total of 12. This is a perfect run for ESG, but they need to hold on strong, although he's all alone.
They need to hold strong, definitely, because it is the 5th circle. They will start to come in and march in on one by one. Bravo still have He-Hawks to deal with in the next house, but now looking on the outside, Tara as well as Yoodo Gang, they are really close to each other out in the open. All smokes go out. Jumper may want to close in bit by bit. Everyone is still in the circle, but that will not be for long as the circle will close in till the next one really soon.
We're just looking at the west side of a circle, not yet on the east side. It's already super crowded and very hot. Look at that from the north side as well. We have 3 teams coming in, but this circle is just not favoring any players in this map.
Exactly, and we're looking at XPERT MY forcing a fight against Yoodo Gang to just cut themselves across in towards the next phase. There's no way that they have to go in towards the central zone by cutting it through the left side. So it's going to be really hard for them, and they will be left out in the open as we see Mamparang committing in towards that attack as well, getting a little bit of helping hand from the backup as they know that Tara's right behind them, and they have been pressurized to actually focus their attention all the way towards the south side.
Oh, Yoodo Jump trying to force himself into Tara's side of vision, but it seems like he just have to prone sideways now because this is kind of a big risk he's taking. And look at that, already tossing Molotov on the side of Jumper, but at the same time there's also another team behind him. He's kind of been sandwiched and stuck in between. So hard to be played by Jumper now.
Oh, unsuspecting Jumper, he got shot by Lyrium from that side. That's so unfortunate for him. But he does have other team members that can go for the revive if they can make it. And now Muffin chooses to use the vehicle as a blocker here so that they can... but how long can it last? Muffin now has been spotted out, and Muffin now is in trouble. All eyes are on him. He will need to use the first aid kit and still defend that location as long as possible.
There's only a couple more seconds left before the circle closes all the way in. And over on the back, there's already teams actually soaking in the damage already. XPERT MY trying to actually cut themselves in towards that zone, and they are the ones furthest away for the current time point as Bosskurr takes out the vehicle, and that will be the end for ESG as well as Geek Fam.
Of all the places they have to drop the aggro, it must be in the middle of a war zone, teasing all these players while they are actually killing each other. But on the other hand, Nat still have all 4 men alive and well. Luxy already popped the smoke. They're trying to get himself the airdrop. Fredo, on the other hand, just making everything hard for them instead of taking it easy.
Oh, but now looks like it's going to be a little bit hard for Fredo. He's taking on a couple of shots there. Manparang as well from the other angle tries to come Fredo, but looks like the shots go out from Manparang, hitting one. But again, Manparang now, he is low on health. He will need to reset himself fairly quickly because again, the teams are coming in hard.
Remember the moment when we saw them actually struggling inside of Sanhok, only having 2 men, and they've made a big comeback. And I do believe in Yoodo gang that they might be able to pull something off here, but Fredo is really low, and I'm not too sure whether if Manparang could actually survive this. Oh no! What exactly is going on here?
What was that, Nate? Hitting bad and reflecting straight on his face for Samzi. Nat, that was unfortunate. He managed to just run away from that in the last minute. If only he got knocked by his own Nate, that would be a big misplay there.
Oh yeah, of course, a little bit of a oopsie right there. This is why we need all these warm-up matches, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, just to make sure that they get those angles right. But right now, we're looking at Samson here getting traded back from the side of Expert MY's Romeo.
Oh, from afar there, that was a really, really good shot there. But now Fredo looks like he's in trouble. Kage has Fredo on his crosshair. Shots fired one by one.
No.
Just needs to connect. It's so hard, but it looks like Fredo, now he managed to reset himself for a moment. Kage continues, but he takes shots from Fredo as well. They're just trading it all off. Net, they do have other team members. They can go for the rush onto Fredo. But again, oh no! Fredo will be sent back to the lobby here by Net.
That single tapping just now, just so hard Fredo to run away from. It was a very beautiful taps, by the way, making sure they won't be stay in the safe zone for now and be forced in the blue. But now we're down to 2 teams. It's 3 versus 3. It's the same numbers of men. When Expert and Y just have to be clutching this one out because Nat, on the other hand, already knocked down. They are not rushing in yet, but it's a nice spray there by Expert and Y. Lord and Roman managed to knock 2 down. There's only one more person left. Atai trying to get Expert and Y for side and flanks. Still managed to get one, but this will be at the end of it. If only they're rushing for Expert and Y, who just managed to get himself 1 chicken dinner for the Scrim match.
Oh my goodness me, what a perfect way to actually end the entirety of the Scrim matches, as we saw early on how they were actually struggling by the corner of that circle, and they have pushed their ways in towards that place once again. So we have to say a huge congratulations towards all the members of Expert. Now, of course, now that we've got all this warm-up underway, all the teams here are looking pretty stacked, and we're expecting so much out of them as well on how they go in for those sort of execution. And starting off, we've seen some of all these teams, such as Team Bosskurr that we've mentioned, got themselves contested inside of Milta. What do you feel like things could improve for the likes of Bosskurr?
I think they have to change their drop points. We talk about this, how they rotate, how their movement should be, and when should they jump from one compound to another. They always seem to be caught up way too early into the game without any loot, without any gear, and just happen to be rushed in straight out and just be among the first 5 to be out of the game and wait in the lobby.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. They need to change a lot of things as well. Not only that, I do think they need to change the way they go for the scout. We do see that their coverage of the ground is actually very little. That's also probably because that they always bump into the wrong teams at the wrong time. So it's a combination of a couple of things. One is, like you said, the drop zone. Secondly is that, okay, where do you understand your scout? Because you will have a bunch of people in a certain area. Someone else will be the scout. So you need to make that rotation.
That's right. And of course, rotation is the main factor for them, hoping to, of course, catch themselves in towards a perfect scenario where they can actually pick people off. And they definitely need some of all these kills. So let's have a look in towards the highlights for that Scrim match that we have just witnessed, as we will slowly break down the entirety of the match. Of course, flight started off from that south and east side where, you know, teams like MRE were over on that corner, and they went in towards that warehouse, and they went on towards a forced attack. And this is what we talk about. ESG actually have a really perfect run this game.
That's the thing we talked about yesterday. They had the same thing happens in Scream games. But when we come to official ones, where were they? They are kind of lost throughout the radar and not happening in to be in the last few circles. If only they can keep the momentum going from a Scream game up to the official ones, and you need to keep the momentum throughout the whole day as well.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, yeah, Scrim games is a Scrim game, but then again, that also, I'm sure that brings some sort of confidence to them that, hey, we
Quite
actually
true.
can do it. We saw that yesterday that they got the chicken dinner in the Scrim game, but unfortunately that probably did not give them enough push. But hopefully this round again, just look at the confidence level. You pull out a pan just to do that pan kill. You're having a lot of fun here. And probably the factor really is that you need to learn how to have fun and just forget about the stress of gaining those points.
That's true. That's really much true. And of course, Choo, we've seen a whole lot of all these matches so far. There are times even in those official runs, we see some really helter-skelter stuff going on inside the game.
That's quite true, but I was hoping to see something more, chillax things, like things that they never do in the official ones. Just pen fight all the way, stuff like that.
Or like a cross.
I don't think that will ever happen. Maybe in the show match like the one that I had, but it's pretty much a-okay. But what's really astounding to me is that Yoodo GANK always so consistent from the get-go and towards the late game. They've always seemed to find a formula to get themselves in towards that very last phase.
Yeah, but yesterday, like we talked before, after like couple of we had I'd say a really good run yesterday. Two teams got themselves consecutive in a row, 2 chicken dinners. But what happened is that both teams quite out early on for the last 2 games at the end of the day. So is it a curse to have 2 chicken dinner in a row, and then at the end of the day you're just going to be the one who go out soon?
Well, I will take that any day than not having any chicken dinners. I'm not too sure about you, Sir Clout.
Well, I have to agree with that, but then again, just have to say that the manner that they went out, especially for Yoodo Gang, in the 3rd game that they were gunning for that 3rd chicken dinner in a row, they went out in a really unpretty manner, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yes indeed. And I do think that they do have their own struggles as well. Like, so much expectations being brought upon all these members, Strax, Jumper, Fredo, as well as Mamparang. Sometimes you are always expected to be the best. And of course, let's have a look into this moment here where Bravo did a 1 versus 2 in the most crucial of things, and eventually Geek Fam here had no options but to actually hang on with only 1 man.
Oh, well, we've seen like this kind of clutch just being pulled by Yoodo Gang, back to Yoodo Gang, because we know when it comes to duo, back to them, it's always about, they are great in 4-man, yes they do, but then I have a feeling they have more potential when it breaks down to a pair. 2 versus 4 all the way yesterday. I have no clue how they pulled that one out.
Oh yeah, and of course that was definitely one huge highlight. But right now, some of all the highlights that we look into how XPERT actually dealt with all that sort of pressure is due to the fact that NED has been pressuring Yoodo Gang so much, and down to this fight where the circle, of course, were pushing towards the side of XPERT MY, and eventually they closed out the game fantastically and still have about three members with them, and that's how it's really supposed to be done for whether or not those upcoming games that we are about to witness, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but then again, this is again a warm-up match. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching your favorite teams there and they may not do so well, let's calm down, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. It's just a warm-up match. They're probably just having fun. Maybe they don't want to reveal too much. They will bring out the beast in them when the real match starts.
You mean shaking off the nervousness or the anxiety straight on? Yeah, it's quite true. Maybe, sometimes you just wake up and you just need something to have a kickstart. Like, just making sure that somebody just flick your head a bit, making sure that you're in the game for now and keep your focus in. But that was a nice Scream game overall.
That's definitely pretty much well indeed. But of course, it will be coming up after a short break, and we'll come back. More action to come.
Hi guys, I'm Ziming and my Indian name is Good Jelly. I'm 22 this year and from Singapore. My Indian name was initially Jelly, but because my friend he changed his name to Gudetama, then I felt it would be good to change my name to Good Jelly to match his. In-game personality, I would say I'm more of a trash talker in game, just to calm my team down and make sure that they don't get nervous over certain situations. And I always ask them to slowly chill rather than being nervous and screwing things up. Offline personality, I would say I like to screw around with people, such as when Vex disturb me, I just carry him and throw him on my bed. I've been playing PUBG Mobile since Season 3 until now, and I am more of a sniper player compared to those close combat, because my close combat really quite bad, but my far range is the one that is good.
For Jelly wise is mainly is our IGL, so he gives the shots to where to go, what to do, and normally how to execute whatever task is needed given by him. For his personality wise, online he's very noisy and he always gets needed and he's always complaining for everything. For offline wise, he's even worse. He's even more louder and he just makes fun of you and he's very noisy. Yeah. Valuable wise, not sure, but I mean like in-game wise, he is very valuable to me. Like even after he die, I still need him to give the shots and everything because yeah, he is the IGN, he gives the shots and everything. But for offline wise, quite useless honestly. Nothing else, is just a burden lah. Sorry to say but yeah.
Jelly's personality is a very playful person. He has a mind. He has a body of a 22-year-old, but he has a mind of a 16-year-old. That one time when I was disturbing him, he got angry and he threw my whole body to his leg. He is the IGL, and without him, our team would go haywire. So for me, he is a very valuable person in the team because his game sense and his map sense are really on point.
I think Jelly is a very calm and collected person. So when he communicates with us in game, he's very he speaks to us very calmly, especially during intense situations. So I think it helps us a lot. I think personality-wise, offline he's very playful and he likes to have fun. So he likes to talk trash about other teams and like insult us, like yeah. So and no, he doesn't. He hasn't done anything to me yet. Jelly is very valuable to the team because he's the strategist of the team. He tells us where to rotate on different maps.
For Sanhok fans and viewers, do catch us live on PUBG Mobile Facebook page for PMPL 2020.
Hello, we are Team H2O from Singapore.
Hello guys, my name is Mohammad Fazil and my agent is H2O Art. I'm 23 years old this year and my role for this team is support.
Hello, my name is Kevin Lee. My IGN is H2O YKV YoKev. I'm 26 this year and my role for this team is Scout.
Hi, my name is Lukman. My IGN is H2O Pengu. I'm 21 this year and my role is Fragger.
Hi, my name is Mohammad Faiz. My IGN is H2O Kagura. I'm 24 this year. My role is Captain.
H2O was only formed quite recently, about 3 months. And for the past 3 months, we have been playing together often to improve our gameplay together.
For the preparation for the PMPL, we be prepared to play every night with Malaysian team. So yeah, every day we play scrims like custom room with them. So to like less pressure, so we won't be like scared enough because we know that they are very strong teams.
3 weeks away from home is really good for us. A bit pressured because it's our first offline tournament overseas, but we have so much we want to learn and experience for this competition. Really, it's very exciting for us. We're really looking forward to everything that's going on.
Mentally prepared for this tournament. To be honest, I don't think we are prepared, but it's a good thing for us because this is a new venture for us, a new exposure, the matches, the environment, the pressure especially. That's a good thing for us.
What I want to say to other teams is the Malaysia team is team secret, that we really want to fight them and we want to contest them in other maps, that we can try them and tell them that don't look down on us.
To all the audience and mostly our supporters of Team H2O, we're here now, we're moving up, we want to do you proud. Let's go.
For our team chemistry, I would like just to say that all members are really good at communicating. So for example, like one of us will be like getting down, knocked down. So the other members will be automatically cover or save it. They will know what to do.
So for my team who die, the first one will be YoKev because he's our scout to scout around the map to see if got enemies ahead or not. Yeah. Of course we appreciate his death because we know that enemy will be there and he will give us more info so that we can change our direction to next zone to keep the enemies.
Who's our mood maker? Definitely our team captain Kagura. When we're down, he brings us all back up. He encourages the best of us, especially when we're bad time in the game or we're losing a lot. He's the one who's there to keep us up, really.
How does we feel about Singapore playing this PMPL for the first time? We feel really happy and we feel new exposure, new things, new environment, new stuff for us. So yeah, we try to make our country proud and our supporters. our goals is to accomplish something big. So yeah, we take part this PMPL to achieve our goal there.
Is there any issue for me to keep playing PUBG? No, because my parents do support me being in this competition, despite them not liking me playing games too much, and they even sent me to the airport this morning.
How do we feel against playing with Malaysian teams? We feel honored actually because we know that they are very strong team. So we feel like this is a better opportunity for us to be a better player against these strong teams. Yeah, we really looking forward to it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PMPL Pro League MYSG PUBG Mobile, which is the first ever. We are live right now at IO Arena Esports Kuala Lumpur. But before that, thanks to our sponsors here, Tencent Games PUBG Corporation, as well as Light and Quantum Studios, as well as a Facebook Gaming, because they are our official media there. And today we have on left and right side, we have Contra on my right side, and there's Sir Cloud. How are you guys today?
Well, of course, I've already got myself some great warm-up. It's great to actually come back to the casting desk. Of course, I've been keeping myself pretty much occupied throughout the week, and I've been catching all the actions as well, and everything's been really phenomenal, and even the players themselves are feeling the heat already.
Yeah, we know when Contra's warmed up, his hair is warmed up as well. So, yeah, that's an indication there. But of course, fist bumps go out, as you can all see on screen right here. So all the players are locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll.
Oh, but before that, I have to have a little bit of shout out for the women out there. Happy International Women's Day today, 8th of March, in case you guys haven't noticed. for me myself here. Hey, happy
Yeah.
International Women's Day, Chu! Yay!
We love you, Choo Choo.
Choose
love
own the world, like women, go power, girl, go you go. Yeah, okay, but we haven't got any female player this time. I wish we will have one day.
Well, I do believe like in the management for some of all these teams, they definitely do have all the ladies actually backing up all of them. And you know, the saying goes, behind every successful man, there's always a lady. So go ahead, give a shout out to your mom as well as your siblings as well. Give them a warm
some
hug as well.
some love. Everybody needs a love, not just women. You know, all the men out there need the love as well. So okay, back to the game, guys. We're finally gonna go into the last day of week 1 here, which is gonna be the first official match after this. Back to Sanhok. Thoughts, guys?
Well, of course, so far a lot of teams have been adjusting to how they really want to play Sanhok because all the Malaysian side as well as the Singaporeans, they're so used to playing it on Classic, but when it comes to competitive, it gets really tough because a lot of times if you want to rotate with vehicles, it's pretty much a tough place to actually rotate about as well. If you go on foot, you got to worry about every single corner is being checked, and of course, I'm looking at, you know, possibilities of that circle really going haywire all the time. So it has been pretty unpredictable, but we are ready for our very first matchup here heading into Sanhok.
Oh, what are you looking for in this one, Cloud? We know it's a very small map.
Oh, we all know by now. I like a little bit of water sports. Come on, Sanhok, give me that circle right in the middle of the 3 islands.
Oh.
Yeah, towards boot camp. Yeah, we like a little bit of that.
We've seen that a lot. Like almost all the circles are around there somewhere, right? These always have to be the 3 main lands. Happen to be the circle right center of it. But let's go into the flight path here. Straight up from the Hathins down to Lakawi and Kampong. But thanks to our observers, Director XCYR and GK Top Cars and Zai. Amazing footage as always.
That's right, and of course he's getting closer and closer to that 300 mark, so we give a big shout out to XCYR for actually directing all the cameras, and of course we appreciate all this good stuff that is being delivered. But let's look into some drop points, shall we? Over on the north side we have Tara onto its 13th, as well as Miss Rose Esports in South Cow, so they have a lot of breathing room as compared to the rest, and of course having those essentials being looted up pretty much early gives them a little bit of that hit start, but Yoodo Gang's pretty close by, and this is better than what Sir Cloud actually asked for because it is going to drive all the way down south with a lot of water coverage as well.
Oh man, I'm a little bit disappointed there. I wanted some water sports there, but there could be still that possibility of maybe end up. Okay, let's end up in Pine Nut. I like to see a little bit of Pine Nut action there. But talking about action, now we do see Drax here. He does have Divinity Esports just in front of it. Juggernaut just behind the stone. And right side now, there's one more. Oh, Drax! Looks like penalty shot to both. And now Drax goes for the rush, but left. Right, Drax will be knocked out. Will he be sent back to the lobby pretty early? Traitor comes in from another side, but then again, looks like they sent Drax back to the lobby. That is an amazing play by Divinity Esports.
A little bit segregated for a Yoodo Gang. There's not a great start for them. Have to sacrifice Drax's way out in the game. One of the best they have, but we know Yoodo Gang. Even though they shot one man, but they're still gonna pull it off.
Yeah, and to my surprise, usually Drax is not the one to actually go out so early. The reason being is that usually if Yoodo Gang wants to take a sort of spot, it's gonna be either Cow or even Hateenth, and looking at how it was actually done, some of all these teams have already dropped in way quicker than Yoodo did, and they were forced in towards the middle, and that's where Drax was in the really awkward place, and you know, getting pinned down by Divinity Esports there. I felt like 1 versus 2, of course, already not a fair fight when he's not even in the compound.
I have to totally agree, but back down to Paradise Resort, ESG are taking this just by themselves. I think that's a lot of loot to be shared within one whole team. Jumping back to Yoodo Gang, Jumper kind of lost here, trying to make sure that he's not being ambushed whatsoever the next few seconds. We do know Divinity is quite nearby, but this is among the heights. We've seen another one higher than this yesterday, right?
I believe we have seen total
8,000
damage
plus, right?
8,000
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's still a record. But then again, total kills of 41. It's still really, really good.
And mind you that today we'll be having the MVP for player. Will he be the one who take it out for Jumper? Because the one who get the most kills will get away that, extra something to be happy
Oh, well,
about.
definitely a lot more money in the pocket, that's for sure. And let's talk about Jumper for a little bit. He's definitely one of this key player that actually boosted Yoodo GANK up to the top, as we saw him actually being the main man back in his days with VIP squad. But now he's actually carrying the momentum all the way from his previous team onto his current roster, and I think that he just fits absolutely perfectly. Some predictions of the fights that might just happen will be inside of that Alpha Island, and there's only two ways out of that island. It's either you take that bridge up there or right down below, where they might even meet Bosskurr Way. And to my surprise, ESG has taken Paradise Resort, and sometimes even Bosskurr Way would actually drop inside of it. So they actually respect each other, and for the side of Bosskurr, they have switched in towards that side of the corner over on the western end.
Yes, this kind of circle is quite tricky as well. We have seen Bapak. They used a boat to actually go from the northern side down to the southern side in one of the games previously, but I don't see any of these teams will pull that off. If they were to do it, probably Last Survivor, because they look nearer towards the coast side. But then again, onto Tara, they took the bridge route. Good thing there's no one camping there. Everyone just want to move to the middle circle. We do see the middle circle is getting crowded right here.
But from when we caught it back then, those who actually rotate a little bit late are the one who are having the most of everything, because we do know everybody else just have to go into World War III in the middle of circle, which is not doing great for everyone who's inside of it. And playing the outer circle is quite okay based on this current condition.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And sometimes if you're really so desperate, you can choose to actually take the water passage with some of the boats, maybe crash towards the corner of dock, and slowly work their way up towards maybe, who knows, the caves or quarry. And if that circle really goes in towards quarry, I think that we're bound to see some epic battles. And speaking of epic battles here, XPMY will be able to actually find a couple of knocks, and it seems to me that there will be a little bit of commotion happening over in that part of the map. And over on this hill, there's going to be all these big teams, Bigetron, MY, as well as Team Secret, getting closer and closer to each other.
Oh, we have seen how Bigetron actually really challenged, really pushed Team Secret in one of the warm-up matches recently. So will we see a similar repeat here? I do see a pattern here. Team Secret on top, Bigetron just right in front of them, and now Bigetron may go in. Yoodo Gang is not too far away. They may want to bump in as well, but look at this. Toy try to find that right angle because he does know footsteps are running all around. Bigetron have their team spread out across multiple angles, so those footsteps may just be the one to throw them off.
There's some pre-fires there, but at the same time, Team Secret actually cornered them in every way. They haven't seen that coming. Bigetron, they're already engaged at first. Get one down, a couple of more shots there. Eye shot on his lids, and also Yuhai returned back that damage on the Bigetron at this time. Kevin, on the other hand, tried to save his friend here, but with the landscape going, it's quite a hard. Yuhai, one more for that, holding this compound really strong.
My goodness me, he was so excellent in this flank, and he's looking for Boyka. Boyka has finished. It's now going to be 4 kills in the back for Team Secret, starting off strong.
Oh no, and now Yuhai looks like he will go for the save. Matoy, will he make it in time? Just in the nick of time.
Oh my god, he did.
Oh, he did. It was just in the nick of time. Managed to revive Matoy.
That's a lot of responsibility to be taken up by a 16-year-old.
Oh, yes, indeed. And you know what this reminds me of? Speaking of Bigetron, he's pretty much relying on, and here comes Yoodo GANK as well. Fredo's holding on a little bit of that, and he's lobbing straight towards the side of Yuhai. He drops it a little bit short, and he probably would possibly dish out a little bit more damage, but Biu needs a little bit of rescue, and of course Matoy, being the support that he is, he will give that helping hand to the captain. But here comes Manparang, also knows some of the locations of members of Team Secret.
Oh, Manparang as well. Looks like it is now grenades galore, ladies and gentlemen. Matoy knows that Yoodo Gang is just on top, will want to retreat into safety and need to reset himself. At the same time, Biu may be left behind by his team. Yoodo Gang, will they get their kill point? We will see shortly. But then again, the rest of team members of Team Secret, they choose to reset themselves in the hut. And now Yoodo Gang, they have taken over this entire hill.
Biu kind of stuck in so many teams just now. The moment they are replenishing themselves with Team Secret, just a bit of a breather of room there. That moment is also Yoodo again taking up the advantage. That was real hard to just retreat from that area.
That's also discipline from Team Secret as well, knowing that they need to retreat from that point. But here comes Sanhok, dropping a Molotov inside of the building. But he knows that this is going to be a little bit challenging for them to actually rush towards the side of Steel Hearts, as we see them actually holding a little bit of advantage. But here comes Lord going for the towns. Oh my goodness! That's a big explosion over onto the side of Steel Hearts. And there goes Wadu. And it's all the way up to the side of Adil. And here comes the push coming from the side of Sane. He might be able to actually spot him out. He's got the barrel ready on low. And now he wants to actually rush right in. And there goes one nade actually being lopped out. And they got to hold on for now.
Oh, and now we do see Saint. Looks like he goes inside, and there are others just in the other side. Lord will need to go for the flag, and then C1, and Lord will get the kill on Wado. And looks like Wado and Ideal as well will be sent back, as well as Batman will be sent back to the lobby.
Steel Hearts being wiped straight out now, waiting in the lobby. That's not a great start for them for the first game of the day. But XP, on the other hand, managed to get a whole team wide. 4 points there, easily taken out by them. But back to EVOS VIP now, going against Traitor.
Oh my Choo-Choo, we're looking at fights after fights after fights, and EVOS VIP squad has been taking this point for quite some time, and they know how to actually approach on towards this one. But Traitor, so far, not exactly in the best of form. That's going to be a little bit of that nade coming in from the side of Putra. Can he actually connect? It will be a little bit short, as we see Vortex as well as some of all the rest of Traitor actually getting into position.
Oh, now it looks like two teams locked down in the same compound. We have Traitor here as well as EVOS. And now looking onto the bigger map, looks like Tara will make their way into the circle a little bit later as compared to the other teams, as well as Last Survivor together with Miss Rose Esports, as well as Bosskurr. These teams are not in the circle yet, but a little bit of gatekeeping there by Divinity Esports. The rest of them, they're way focused in the middle.
Oh, like I said, late rotations are not all bad. Looking at Tara, we know how good this team can be when it comes to late game, close range or mid range combat. They are quite adept at that. But Ned, on the other hand, this is his team kind of caught up between Geek Fam and EVOS, traded there as well. The same goes who are actually in the middle of a circle for Yoodo, GANK, XPERT, WoW, and ESG. And it happens to be that ESG have their own airdrop nearby.
And of course, we're speaking of that sort of airdrop, they definitely need a little bit more of that resupply. But here comes Fredo, though. He's actually taking the bike to actually crash into the compound, beating it a little bit off as Matai will get that hit shot up on the side of Fredo. But here comes Yuhai, of course, ending the lives of Fredo instantaneously. Now, from that sort of 3 versus 2 scenario, it has gone down to 2v2.
Oh, Matoy looks like he needs to get into safety very quickly. Now it's 2-on-2 scenario. Manparang, he does it. Oh, Matoy as well. Just check out his helmet. Level 1 helmet, but completely depleted at this point. Painkillers will go out. Yuhai, Matoy, they are being pinned down now by Yoodo gang. Will they go for the rush? Who will make the first move? Or another team may just come in and spoil the party.
And Mate, just one clip on the helmet will just smash it away. While on the other hand, Yoodo and the rest of the team trying to get a green light to just rush in. But they have to mind themselves. There's another team coming up behind, which is XPERT MY, who just anytime at a golden opportunity gonna rush